Hello, dear viewers. We are very glad and happy to have you back into one of the international discussion organized on the platform of the Creative Society. We are here together today, once again, to deep dive and to bring back the topic that has been brought to us during the conference that happened on the 12th of November, 2022. Global crisis or survival is in unity. It was a 12 hours conference with a lot of different topics, interconnected topics that have been brought to all of you. And that's why we want to really bring those topics back and to be able to explain even more for you and for your understanding. This conference has been possible because of volunteers from 180 countries that has been putting their time and attention into bringing the truth back to people. Also, this conference, as one of a kind, has been translating live into 150 languages. Yes, 150 languages. Almost 90% of the population in the world is able to currently watch this video, this conference, understanding it in its language. So together with us to bring some of those topics, we have a guest that I would like to introduce you right away. Together with us, Utibe Usanga, a Pan-African from Nigeria. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today to share my thoughts with you all. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Utibe, for being with us today. And definitely it's a pleasure for us to be because of the people like you, true heroes from around the world who hear about the Creative Society, who join us. People get to hear about what is happening to climate and what is happening to other spheres of our life. And then what is it like? And what exactly can we do to actually solve this problem? That there is a solution and there is the way out of those problems, not only to fix what's coming up and what's already happening in our society, but also to build a much better, prosper and thriving society where all people can live with dignity and with all basic needs covered. And I would like to ask you, how was it for you to discover Creative Society? What was your vision of it? How did you come across it? And why you choose to participate?
Okay, it's very much this way. Like I said, I'm a Pan-Africanist. I love writing about Africa. I love writing about Nigeria. I love writing about unity in the country, unity in the continent. So, and one day, as I posted a post or an article on the social media, so I was just reading through it, and I came across another article that was in the same line of creating peace, posted by Aline Zinadinova. She posted something on peace that has to do with climate change. This is a time that we need to unite as a family. This is a time that we need to unite as a team. So when I saw something that has to do with unity, and I had to write her, I said, what is Creative Society all about? She said, okay. She now sent me the link. I have to read about Creative Society. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I got in contact with Olena Zidarenko, and the cost of my knowledge course increased. So I kept learning. I keep learning about Creative Society. So that is how I came in contact with Creative Society. And I must say there's no regret in coming in contact with Creative Society. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I'm always much happy about that I made the Creative Society and I made the participants and the project itself.
Wow, what an amazing story. And yeah, that sounds incredible. And how did you actually become a translator? What was your decision to participate in this way? And could you tell us a little bit more about the language that you translated into? And how was it translated in the forum? Because it's more than 11 hours. Did you do it by yourself? Did you have somebody helping you there? How did you become a synchronous translator?
When I got involved with Creative Society, I started at first doing a TikTok. Like I also sent a video for a TikTok in the first conference. So, but I believe I could do better than that. I could do much better than just sending a video. So when I wrote to Oleda Zderenko, I told her I can also translate this in my local language, at least let my people get to hear about this, because the woman in the village will not know about climate change. They'll just keep telling them climate change is this, with big grammars, but they will not know the changes that are happening. They will not know more. So when I came up with this idea, let me touch the life of my people. Let me change things in my own house. Let me change things in my own surrounding. Let me just forget about the English. They are used to the English, climate change, global warming. They are used to it. They have been hearing, and the mothers and the aged people don't know much about the causes of this climate. They even never know so if you keep saying in English, they will not know. So what I did, I said, okay, let me start telling them in my own language, in my own dialect. Like, I'm from Nigeria, and in Nigeria, we have major ethnic groups and we have major languages. But the language I speak, Usem Ibibio now, 2 states in Nigeria can hear me and understand me well. So if 2 states can understand a particular language, I don't think I should just keep or hide the language. No. So as I speak Ibibio, 2 states, Cross River states and Akwa Ibom states, hears that what I'm saying. So it goes a long way to touch lives in these areas. So, and that is it. And I'm always doing it alone for now, because I'm trying to change people's mindsets. I'm trying to change people's mind on the monetary aspect. We live in a consumerist format, in a consumerist society where people are after money, and I understand it very well. So to change their mindset, to decolonize them, I need to keep preaching the message of unity, ideal society, a good society to them. Why I keep doing it alone for now is because none of them have want to show interest in doing it. Everybody's after money. They're saying, are they paying? People are writing me all the time. Utibe, are they paying you? Are they paying you? Are they paying you? I'm telling them, they are not paying me. No, I don't need to be paid. But what I'm looking for is a society that the future generation will enjoy. My child will come and you enjoy. Not a society that you'll be afraid of nothing. So for now, I will still say I'm doing it alone, and I don't have problem with that. I'm going to do like the last one. I do it into the night. I do it at I think I almost do it towards the ending. So I don't have problem. I'm going to do it, but I believe with time, people will come to join me, and so that we'll be having people that will be vetting, because I translate, I also voice. So it's more of a big work for now, but I'm believing in an ideal society, and I'm believing in a creative society. Definitely other people will come to enlarge the coast.
Well, thank you very much for this. I mean, you are an example of a person that is truly embedded in this idea of the creative society, and not just by looking, not just by listening, but by acting as well. And it really shows how much one person can be such impactful for such a big amount of people. It's not just about the fact that they are not maybe now following you, but the idea of trying, the idea of putting this conference available in front of them and being able to share that information, it's very inspiring. I mean, by putting this out there, we indeed see a lot of people commenting either on Facebook, either on Instagram, on TikTok. And yes, unfortunately, there is a lot of comments of people wanting to see it happening before actually acting. There is this backward understanding that there is some people doing it, and then those people watching it, maybe actually agreeing with us, will just stay sitting back on their couch and just waiting until this creative society is being built to maybe join. And you are the example of a person who understands it exactly the same way, but actually understand that without acting, nothing will happen. So thank you very much for this very concrete example of what you do, how you came to this, because I'm sure that there is maybe a lot of people watching you right now looking at themselves and saying, yeah, it happened exactly the same to me, but I missed that opportunity to start doing something. So let me try, and you'll see, you will not regret it, as you said.
Utibe, all of us are actually learning through the conference a lot of things. And the conference and November forum that happened on November 12th, we all take part in preparing it. But actually, when it happens, we watching it and we realize how much other teams do, because it's always teams of creative society participants that collect information, that create these videos, and later do enormous amount of job. We were on the live stream a couple of days ago, and somebody was asking some questions regarding organization of this event. And this thought crossed my mind that, does anyone even realize from technical perspective what is it like to create something that is streamed in 150 languages and people do it simultaneous interpreting into all these languages? Because nobody in the world doing anything like this. If we compare the biggest international events, it's maximum 12 languages. If they do 15, they're so proud of it. And most of them organized by people who receive money from governments and who do it for their benefits. Then later they say, oh, we went somewhere to some country, and they spending our money talking about something about fighting climate and so on. And every time it does nothing for the humanity. And here we are, regular people getting together and saying, no, we want it different way. We want a society where human life is the highest value, where people are united. And what can unite people? Because again, as we said, we have different religions. Each one of us has a different cultural background and so on. So what unites people? And this is a very good question. This is what I asked myself in the first place when I joined the project. I wanted to ask you, what do you think unites people?
Okay. To me personally, like you have the view, I don't really believe that religion unites people, but having a particular goal of, when I looked at the 8 pillars of the creative society, looking at just a reflect on those pillars, you will know that can unite somebody. Looking at human life, once you have respect, regards for human life, that will unite a particular people, because now I need to value human life, and that unites people to that direction. If you look at human freedom, humans must be free. They are born free. That unites people. But when you start curtailing people's freedom, that becomes a problem. So human life, having a respect for human life unites people. Having regards for human freedom unites people. Human safety, that also unites people. Equality, justice system. When there is a good justice system, it also unites the people. So you can see, to me, I would tell you, if we operate a good justice system, good governance, that's people will be united. It's a natural thing. People just get united to it because everything is done in equality and as an equity. So I believe that's what unites people.
That's a great answer. I think overall, in every group, and every either working group or just as soon as people want to do something together, for them to be able to succeed, a common goal is needed. And that conference, that is exactly gathering people behind this common goal. A lot of people might say, watching maybe actually the beginning of the conference, this is just fear mongering. You're just trying to scare people. It's just another manipulation trick from the globalists to just enslave us. That is not. Because once again, the common goal of this conference is to show the solution regarding to this global crisis that we are in. The common goal is to put back the human as the highest value in the society and not having the money or the power as it is as of today. So it's important, like you mentioned, that to have a common goal, and for people who come across this information for the first time and start maybe doubting. They see on TV a lot of scientists telling them that CO2 is the cause of the climate disasters that we can see here, ecology, and all of this information that maybe it's way too complicated for us to understand. But there is, once again, this common goal that is very important. Those people sharing that information, are they on the side of the consumer format of society, trying to leverage money as a source of solving the problem? Or it's the human that is being put first as the goal, as what we want to achieve? And from that question, you can ask yourself, and you will be able to actually put your attention where it's supposed to go and create this very good future. So I think it's very important for a lot of our viewers to really see that there is something that can be done, but it's something that you need to put your attention in the right place. You cannot just sit back and wait for something to do something. The responsibility cannot just be put on somebody else for your future. And Utibe, you're a very good example of somebody who took that responsibility, even if you're maybe for now by yourself, but that's really this sparkle, this initiate thoughts, initiate action that will make a huge difference. What I would like to maybe go now into, it's a discussion maybe a little bit more about the creative society, that very solution that we have been described, that has been described during this conference, because the creative society is our salvation. It is the solution to the current problem. But more than just fixing the problem that we have, it will enhance our civilization. It will make our life better. It will not just stop all the cataclysm, but it will make every single part of our life better. So a lot of benefits are tightly connected to the creative society. So for a start, I would like to actually illustrate those benefits that has been mentioned during the conference, watching an extract from this very conference. And after that, we'll be able to develop a little bit more on those benefits together with Utibe, our guest. So let's watch an extract and let's come back right after to talk about it.
For several years, we have been informing about the creative society. The most frequent question we hear is, what will my life be like in the creative society? Friends, it's time to answer this question that concerns all of us. Make yourselves comfortable. We invite you to a wonderful world where the most valuable thing is human life. Your life. Living conditions, everyday life. Already in the transition period from the consumerist format of society to the creative one, each person will immediately be provided with accommodation of at least 60 square meters for a comfortable life. If you have a family of 5, you will live in a house or apartment of 300 square meters. This housing will be your property. It will not be subject to taxes and utility bills. As your family grows, your living space will expand. A consumer paradise will be created. The availability of free time, money, and a variety of quality goods and accessible products. And this is already in the transition period from a consumerist format to the creative society. Financial freedom. People will become financially independent starting from their birth. From the first day of the transition period to the creative society, all mortgages and loans will be written off. No more inflation. Prices for the same product or services will be the same all over the world. No more taxes on small and medium-sized businesses. No more taxes on individuals. You will receive a universal basic income of $10,000 every month. There will be no need to work in order to have a roof over your head and feed your family. In the creative society, you will always have confidence in your future. Do you want more money? There will be an opportunity to work doing what you love to do. Only 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. You will have a vacation at least 2 months a year. Do you want to work more because you get a buzz out of doing your job benefiting society? Go for it. You are always free to choose. All hard, dangerous, harmful, and monotonous work will be done by robots and automated systems. A human is not a slave to toil from morning till night for a penny. You will have time for yourself. You will be able to do things you really care about. Spend time with people you love. Develop yourself. Be creative. And travel to any part of the world without visas or restrictions. In the creative society, every day of your life brings only joy and pleasure. Environment. Production will be waste-free and completely environmentally friendly. Pesticides and chemicals will no longer be needed to grow products. Only tasty, healthy, and varied foods will always be on your table. You will be able to enjoy clean, fresh air wherever you go. You will be able to drink crystal clear water saturated with good microelements and minerals. In the creative society, we will restore the ecosystem of the planet, and we will be able to admire the purity of oceans and the beauty of pristine forests. The creative society is a world of harmony and beauty. Healthcare. Perfect health of every person is one of the priorities of the creative society. From the very beginning of the transition period, medical care will be free for everyone. Doctors will be paid for healthy patients. A patient will no longer be seen as a profitable client. Each medical center will be equipped with artificial intelligence that will incorporate the experience of all the best doctors in the world throughout history. The very approach in healthcare will change. It will become 90% preventative. And all this right away in the transition period. Now, in the creative society, new technologies will allow humanity to never get sick. Everyone will have an opportunity to significantly increase their lifespan. To date, these technologies are already being developed, but the consumerist format makes them inaccessible for us. A simple device installed in the shower cubicle will scan your body and will adjust your appearance according to your wishes. In the creative society, you'll be really healthy, completely free of charge. Education. You deserve a decent, high quality, and free education. Do you like to study? In the creative society, you can get as many degrees as you want. And you won't have to worry about earning a living because you'll have a universal basic income. From the first days of the transition period to the creative society, you can easily acquire a new profession if you wish to. Artificial intelligence will create an adaptive educational program for you according to your peculiarities. You can study anywhere in the world and at a time that suits you. The creative society is a world of knowledgeable and versatile personalities. Freedom. People will decide for themselves what rules and laws to live by and implement their decisions through voting on a unified platform. The highest value is human life. Everything will be built around the fundamental basis. The world's media will no longer be in private hands, but will belong to society as a whole. This means that they will no longer be able to manipulate public opinion for the profit of a few. The media will truthfully and holistically inform, educate, and inspire people. Safety. Already, in the transition period from the consumerist format to the creative society, the fate of people will no longer depend on the decisions made by a few individuals and on what those in power will agree among themselves. Society will create conditions in which wars, murder, theft, slavery, human trafficking, and drug trade will be impossible. Crime will completely disappear. The latest technologies will be implemented everywhere, which will help the Unified Emergency Service to work proactively to prevent accidents and crimes. You can easily let your child go to school or outside being completely sure about his safety. You'll be safe and secure at all times of day and night by returning home in the evening, going for a walk in the park, or going to a concert. The main danger, the threat of a global climate catastrophe, will be solved. Humanity will never again be threatened by climate disasters and wars. In the creative society, you and your family will be safe anywhere in the world. You will get all this starting from the first days of the transition period. And already, in the creative society, thanks to a replicator technology, you will be able to get everything you need. All kinds of food, clothes, household items, and much more. As fantastic as it may sound, most of the technologies we're talking about already exist. It's just that it's impossible to use them in a consumerist format. Beginning with the transition period, science and technology will be aimed at improving the quality of human life. Life must bring only joy and pleasure. The whole absurdity is that, despite having all the possibilities to live in the creative society already now, we continue to maintain the consumerist format. We can build the creative society peacefully, without struggle or confrontation, in the shortest possible time. There will be no more revolutions, except scientific and technological ones, which will be a permanent and natural phenomenon in the creative society. Tell your family, friends, neighbors, and acquaintances about this perspective. Share how beneficial and cool the creative society is for them. You and I are living in an amazing time, when within a short time we can move from the slave system of the consumerist format to the free and safe world of the creative society. Everything depends on you. If you want such a life, support the creative society and tell everyone about it.
Indeed, if you want such a life, support the creative society. That's a pretty easy message to get out of this video. Utibe, any comments on this video that were very well illustrating the benefits of the creative society? What is your view on that?
Okay. The video is very educative. Number one thing I picked in the video, it's about improve in healthcare facilities. Because I believe that the creative society, one of the benefits is that there'll be increase in the healthcare facilities that will be present due to the innovation and technological wise. So once these facilities are put in place, people will have nothing to worry. There will be no debt at all. No debt rates will be very high. No, everything will be okay. Everything will be nice. People will live very comfortably. You know, this part of the country where we live, people die. It's very common because of a lack of health facilities. But from the video, what is portraying already is like everybody's hand must be on deck. We need to unite. We need to stand together, because when we stand together as a family and when we stand together as a team, we will attain the height we need to attain. If you stand together as a team, we'll reason the way we should reason. We'll reason in the direction or of creation. We will reason in the direction of innovation. And once we reason in this direction, I bet you technologies will come in place. And when these technologies come, our life will be better. So this technology will come to better our life. So that's the number one thing that struck me when I was going through, when I was watching the video. I was like, wow, that means in a creative society, technology will be in place, all the facilities we need will be. And definitely our children will have nothing to worry. So that's it.
Yeah, when I was watching this video as well, I was thinking it's incredible. Most of these technologies, they already exist today, and nothing stops people from start using it other than economical reasons. They say, oh, if we implement this technology, then some people will stay without work. Well, the question is why to do work that is not necessary, that machines can do that work so much better than humans. Humans were not born to work like machines. Again, if we started from even a theological perspective, if higher powers wanted people to work as a tractor in the field, humans would be created as a tractor. But no, we are given ability to think, to use science, to use technologies to improve our life. And here we are at the point where we already have most of the technologies to improve life for everyone. But what is lacking is unity of people and decision of people to participate on it. Even 2 years ago, when we started first conferences about creative society, we didn't know how people will react. We were assuming that this will be heard by the message will be heard and will resonate with people. And as you said, when you when you input your efforts like you do into this thing, some people will come across it, and never know when it's gonna happen, how people gonna contact, but there is always some outcome that we cannot even predict from our action, which will be so much greater than what we even can imagine and can expect. And that's why I'm thinking, what would be your message to the people who only heard about creative society for the first time? And first reaction for so many people that, oh, it's impossible. How can people unite? How can people come together? I hear it all the time. And some people say, it's not gonna work because it takes people to complicate. I usually ask them, do you think what we have now is working? do you think this where we live now is working fine? Like what's the alternative, right? But for those who only heard about creative society for the first time and a little bit skeptical, what would you say to them?
Personally, what I would tell them is, you don't have to wait for you to get hot before you don't think of alternative ways. If, for instance, now, like somebody said something, he said, when you are sick, you don't care where the medication is coming from. You just need to get yourself healed. So people like that, I would tell them, when you hear about creative society the first time, don't be skeptical. Just go to research more about it. What are these people saying? Because when you can't judge a book by its cover, you just see a book and say, oh, this is not going to be a good book. No. When you hear about creative society, relax. Just Google more, research more about creative society, because there are beautiful things that wait in you. And once you read more, you research more about creative society, you will come to understand that peace is certain, that it's possible for the whole world to unite when there is a direction, when there's a reason to unite. And what reason do we have here to unite? Is because we have a common enemy. And if we don't unite against this common enemy, there will be a very big problem. So I would tell them, you need to wake up, you need to unite. And if you don't unite, there will be a problem. So that's it.
That's a great answer. And indeed, relax. And why relax? Because we finally have an answer to our problem. How could we relax if all of that information would be done without an answer? And when you think about it, then and you put in perspective the answer that we have as the creative society as the solution to our problem, and the consumer formal society currently, that is basically the cause of so many of our problems. For people who just discover the creative society, they should really just see what is better. What do I have now into this consumer format of society? Am I satisfied with what I'm being provided, or what is my perspective of development into this consumer format of society? If your response to that question is no, then open up to something else where you could actually answer this question with a big yes. And that answer will be the creative society. So indeed, wake up. Don't content yourself with what you have just because it's just the way it was forever. Parents, grandparents, and all of the generation before has been living like this. And thus you should just continue living like this. That is not a fatality. That is not just the way we should see things, especially when we look at the consumer formal society just bringing us at very high speed straight into a wall and will destroy our entire civilization. So once again, and thank you very much for that word, relax and look at the solution, and relax and look at what you can do, or keep being stressed and remain in this consumer format of society. That is your choice, because that's the choice of every single person on earth to do something for their future. Thank you very much for that answer.
And, I love how I learn from communicating to our participants. Everyone has a little bit more to say and different perspective on the very same topic. So when I was talking to you, I learned so much from your answers. You answer in a different way from what we hear here. And you said something about having the common enemy, which is actually a very good point, because this is what being used so often in media and people in each country. For example, I've been living in the United States, and I see how society is very polarized. And on the news, they say to people here inside of one country that you have enemies who live in different state because they vote for another politician, and those people are your enemies. And then they say, there are people living in other country and they are your enemies because their governments thinks different things. And we always pointed that we have some enemies, but nobody talks about common enemy of humanity, which is consumerist format of living, which is inhumane in its essence. They changing our attention into dividing us and showing that enemy is somewhere out there. And you said something else. You said that humanity has one common enemy. Could you tell me and our viewers a little bit more about the enemy of the humanity that actually can be a unification factor for us as well?
Okay, concerning the common enemy, I just want to say more about it. Like you've heard already, we live in a consumerist society. Looking at the society, picturing Nigeria, what could be the common enemy? The common enemy here are the flood occurrence, the changes in climate. Those things are the common enemy because it's a no respecter of age, is a no respecter of religion. That's why I said common, because if the street is flooded, it will not say, let me leave your house because you're the rich person in town. No, it goes to everybody's house and properties are destroyed. So the common enemy here is the changes, the effect of this climate change on us. Just like some few days ago, from some few weeks, you saw see everywhere in Nigeria was flooded. Property were lost. People's lives were lost. So the common enemy here is the flooding. So you can see flooding here becomes a common enemy. So if we now have in mind that, flooding is a common enemy, flooding is an enemy, everybody will now work towards avoiding. All hands must be on deck because we have known this is the common enemy. This is a problem. So the common enemy could be different in any country. But what you need to know that any particular thing that affects humans affect the peace that we have, affect the economic stability. Because if there is economic crisis, just like now in Nigeria, there's inflation, persistent rise in the price of goods and services. You can't go to the market and buy even something like the vegetable leaf at a very low cost. No, you need to buy it at a very high cost. So inflation becomes a common enemy, and all hands will be on deck to support the creative society, because once we have a creative society, inflation will not be a problem. We will not have anything like inflation because everything will be in place. When we have a creative society, people will be so innovative that they will reason out possible ways of solving economic crisis. And, we are not after money. The problem is that currently people would have been able to solve the problem, like in Nigeria, the economic crisis in Nigeria, but because they have interest in what they do. And the interest is not favoring humanity. The interest is not favoring the people. They don't have the people at heart. They don't see the people's life as important, the people's freedom. There's no equality, there's no equity, there's no justice. So it becomes a problem. So all in all, the common enemy, it whatsoever distorts the natural process, the way things should go. Once there's a distortion in that becomes a problem. And that is a common enemy because it affects me, it affects you, and it's no respecter of religion, age. No, you fair, your black skin color is not a problem. It affects you when it comes to affect you. So all hands must be on deck. So what I want to say now in essence is that you need to look at your society. You need to look at your environment and say, what is the common enemy in this society? If you are living in the rural area, you need to look at the rural area and say, what is the common enemy in this place? So once you are able to know, in my environment, the common enemy is political crisis, you now know that you need to work towards solving that problem. And you need to work with a team. You need to tell other people about it. We need to solve this problem that we have in our society. And in solving that problem, you are projecting a creative society and you are supporting a creative society. So I want to say, let all hands be on deck to fight against the common enemy. And make sure you discover the common enemy in your area. Thank you.
That is indeed the common enemy that we have, the very climate change, because it's affecting every single person. This cyber is like, if you can just illustrate it with one image, that mystical beast that is just coming is here, is destroying everything. And what is the first and primary characteristic of that mystical beast is that the more it destroys, the bigger it gets. And the bigger it gets, the more it wants to hit and the more destruction is bring to us. That's exactly the common enemy that we do have currently on this planet and that we need to eradicate. When you think about a common enemy, that sounds like we're going at war and we need to fight, which is not necessarily the main idea. A lot of people currently in our society, they are outraged because they think that not everybody is equal. But what is the ultimate sign of equality among everybody, knowing that every single person on earth has a same enemy and is in danger from the exact same thing? That is the thing that we need to understand, is what collectively put us together. We are on the same boat and we have the same enemy, and that is what brings us together. We don't have an enemy as another person, as another nation, because this other nation has also the same enemy as the climate that we do have. And if we cannot solve the problem for ourselves, a country cannot just solve the problem of climate change just for themselves and forget about the other country. Climate change doesn't care about frontiers, about borders and anything. Tornadoes will not just stop because we put a mark on the map. That is not the way it's working. So it's really something that is cross-country, cross-region. It doesn't matter who you are, it will affect you. So very important to really name that enemy, but also understanding that this enemy, this common enemy, is also the one thing that should bring people together and unite. Thank you very much for that very well explanation of what should drive people to join the creative society and to build this creative society. I think we're coming to an end of this very engaging international discussion, and I would like to really thank our guests today very much for what you've been telling us. Once again, I just wanted to reemphasize about the message that we have been given regarding the creative society. If you support it, if you like it, don't sit on the sideline. Join. Inform everywhere. Do like our guest. Start small and rise as you are talking to as many people as you can. Don't be afraid. Don't be stopped by anybody, because you know this is the truth, and you know this truth is important for everybody. So tell others. The speed of building this creative society depends on your action, depends on everybody's action. Don't put your responsibility on somebody else. Don't just expect that somebody else is going to create this for you. You should be part of it. You should be proud of it, and you should aim for it. If you don't say what you do, then people will just not do anything. It's a very common thing that you can see in people. It's actually something that you can see in physics with mirror neurons, that the way your kids have learned was by looking at you. And that exactly the same with actually adults and people in society. The way people are learning, the way people are motivated to do something is because they see people around them doing that very action. So join if you really value the life of every single human being, and if you want a better world. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Tali, anything else?
Oh yeah, of course. So all our viewers might actually think, okay, I want to join creative society, but what does it mean? What exactly do I do? And this is so simple. Basically, spreading information about the creative society is the best way we can help right now, because it all comes to create an electoral request to implement 8 foundations of the creative society on legal level. So it means into the constitution of each country. And for that, we have to make this idea popular, and everything works. We can put a sticker on our car. We can put a sticker on our anywhere. If we go to a coffee shop, we can tell to the owner about it. We can put the card with a QR code with a logo of Creative Society. We can go on TikTok. We can go on different social media platforms, and also make a video with our thoughts about Creative Society, about the conference, about the forum. Our survival is in unity. And of course, we can go on creativesociety.com, press join us button, and participate and find other people from your region and from all over the world and join them. We have TikTok accounts, we have Twitter accounts, we have accounts for Global Crisis as a project, and Creative Society. Global Crisis is very important because we find out the whole scale of problems of what is happening around the world, and Creative Society is the solution part. So it's important to understand both. And since we have, I have to say, I really enjoy this conversation so much today. And isn't it amazing that you can connect to people from around the world as well, and just communicate and see how much brilliance people have around the world, and that you actually want the same thing with everyone else, and you have like-minded people, and you can collaborate and work together in the common goal. And Utibe, thank you so much for being with us. And maybe before we finish, you have some message, something to say to the viewers of our today's stream. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. I must say I'm grateful that we have a platform like this. We have the Creative Society where people get to share their own ideas and their own thoughts. And, you know, like when I began saying today, I said I had these thoughts when I was a little bit younger, but I never had a platform like this to align my thoughts. So having this platform gave me the boldness to align my thoughts comfortably, knowing that peace is what we need, knowing that we need an ideal society, knowing that we need to live in peace with one another. I'm so happy to be a participant of the Creative Society project. And I want to use this medium to tell my viewers, you have nothing to lose in joining the Creative Society. But you definitely have something to lose if you don't join the Creative Society. Because, like you have heard about the common enemy, the climate change. One day, if you don't join the Creative Society to speak against it, to fight against it, one day it will come to your doorstep like a man on black, and when he knocks on your door, you'll not be able to do anything. So we need to stand as a team. Our survival is in unity. We need to work as a team. We need to arise and stand as a team and say no to the common enemy. And once again, thank you for the platform. Thank you for the initiative. The world will hear. People will, the problem we are having now is to unlearn, but with time, people will learn. People will unlearn and they will learn. What I believe, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I end. What I believe is that a set of people planted a particular tree. They planted a particular tree. And a set of people watered the tree. Another set of people pruned the tree. And it came to a state where another group of people enjoyed. They stayed under the tree and they got the shade. Today, we are spreading the message. We are informing people about Creative Society. And I believe that this information will touch the life of people. This information will impact on people. This information will build an umbrella that our future generation will be very happy. They'll have nothing to be afraid of because everything will be in a good state.
Thank you very much, Utibe, for those very wise words and very inspiring. Thank you, Tali, for your time today and being part of this international discussion. Thank you to our all viewers and see you very soon into a next international discussion.
Thank you so much.